The defeat was confirmed in predictable fashion, when Chris Woakes edged a vicious, short ball from Pat Cummins to wicketkeeper Tim Paine at just after 3:40 p.m., with England 281 all out. It gave the home side a thumping margin of victory and an unassailable 30-series lead with 2 tests to come in Melbourne and Sydney. Defeat also completed a miserable first Ashes for captain Joe Root, who has been outmanoeuvred and outplayed by his counterpart Steve Smith. And it is a series defeat which raised some question marks over the short-term and long-term futures of a number of England's players. For some, this has looked to tour too far, with Alistair Cook and Stuart Broad a shadow of the former selves. For others, the experience seems to have dimmed undoubted talent, with all-rounder Moeen Ali flopping with bat and ball and captain Joe Root performing well below his best. Reuters Ashes Australia regained the urn after just 3 tests of the series Alistair Cook has struggled through the series, and questions about his future remain. The final day of the final Ashes test at the WAC had started in controversial circumstances after torrential overnight rain here in Perth had seeped under the covers, creating a damp patch on the wicket. Ground staff worked furiously to dry the patch to the satisfaction of the officials, using leaf blowers, but the cock-up caused a delay of 3 hours to the start and the loss of 28 overs on the day. If it gave England hope, it was to prove nowhere near enough, though, against an equally furious Australian attack, even one in which Mitchell Starc was suffering with a right heel bruise. In all, they kept them out for 34.3 overs. With England trailing Australia by 127 overnight and with just 6 wickets standing between the home side and the Ashes, much rested on the shoulders of first innings centurions Dawood Malan and Jonny Bairstow. Reuters' Josh Hazlewood celebrates after bowling England's Jonny Bairstow, but the defensive rearguard got off to the worst possible start when Bairstow 14 fell to his first ball of the morning, a ripper from Josh Hazlewood which kept low and levelled his off-stump. Malan and Moeen Ali stood firm against a brilliant spell from the tall Australian, adding 39 for the 6th wicket, but the latter's miserable series, and particularly his miserable series against Nathan Lyon, continued when he offered a blocking pad to a straight one from the off-spinner to leave England 6 down. Australia have been ruthless throughout this series when getting sight of the tail, and when Malan's vigil finished pulling slightly recklessly at a short-pitch delivery from Hazlewood, which gloved through to the wicketkeeper Tim Paine to leave England 1967, the writing was on the wall. Hazlewood was to finish with 548. Chris Woakes provided some spirited resistance with 22, but ran out of partners as Australia circled. Craig Overton 12 came out with heavy padding and protection around his cracked rib, but looked uncomfortable throughout before edging to gully. Broad 0, another to have a miserable tour so far, fended a short ball behind. Woakes and Jimmy Anderson held off the inevitable for 27 balls. BT Sport Michael Vaughan doesn't believe Ben Stokes could have saved England. Ben Stokes wouldn't have saved England. Michael Vaughan claimed after the Ashes loss England wouldn't have won even if Ben Stokes played. Vaughan said, "England are without Ben Stokes, a charismatic all-rounder. He would have helped, but I'm not sure he could have done anything to stop the result, but he certainly would have brought a fight and a character within the dressing room. At times, that's been lacking."